Hi, my name is Shay. The first question I'm going to answer is what details about myself that I want my students to know. So, I don't really plan on sharing much personal information with my students. I wouldn't mind doing some kind of icebreakers to get to know them a little bit and then to allow them to get a few things to know about me. But what I really want my students to know is that I do have high expectations for them and that I will expect them to be respectful of me and my classroom and to be the best students that they can be every day. Something else that I want them to know is that if they do make a mistake, I am a very forgiving person and I believe in second chances. This means that when they make a mistake, they'll always have the opportunity to change their behavior and to kind of make up for that mistake. I also want them to really understand that making a mistake does not mean that there aren't going to be consequences for their behavior, but it does mean that one bad choice doesn't define who you are, and you'll always have the chance to kind of come back from it. So, for the physical organization of my classroom, I want to have my students' desks organized into table groups so that they can work together easily on group assignments and stuff. And I want to make sure that no students have their backs turned to the main whiteboard while I'll be doing the majority of my teaching. And I would also like to dedicate space for a rug to do activities where the students sit on the rug. When I was doing my classroom observation in my undergrad, the teacher used it to do story time where the students sit on their own spot on the rug. And she also had her like introduction for the day. Everyone comes down, sits on the rug, so she can take attendance there. And then she did kind of introductions like what's the weather like today or what we're going to be doing today. So I would love to do something like that in my classroom. Another part of the setup for my classroom is I would like to designate stations for students to do so they can like move around during silent reading time or during our free time. They can have activities such as like a station for audiobooks or a station for people who want to like play with building blocks, and then stations that they can move around and do like iPads. So I definitely want to incorporate a lot of stations into my classroom as well. So for the rules that I'm going to implement into my classroom, for me, rules are mostly to keep order in the classroom and to make sure that students are respective of me and of their classmates. So these rules are going to be like no talking while the teacher is talking, no talking without raising your hand, no speaking over another student who has the floor to speak, and another good one is treat others the way you want to be treated. I will also implement procedures that will keep the classroom organized and free of chaos, such as a procedure for when you have to sharpen your pencil and procedures for going to the bathroom. For example, if a student has to go to the bathroom, they'll do the designated hand signal for going to the bathroom and then wait to be dismissed. Or if it's an emergency, they can do the designated hand signal and then say my name to get my attention. And then for sharpening pencils, we'll do something like there's a rule for if I'm speaking, they can't get up to sharpen their pencil right away. They could raise their hand and ask to be and then wait to be called on. Or if I'm not speaking, they can get up, go grab a sharpened pencil. If there's no sharpened pencils, they'll be able to sharpen their pencil while no one is speaking and then come sit back down. So we'll have set of procedures for different kinds of scenarios. And the system that I will be using to enforce these rules and procedures, I really like the system of the color-coded behavior chart. So at the beginning of the day, everyone will start on one color, and then as the day goes on, they can either be told that they can move up for their good behavior, or if they break rules and procedures throughout the day, they'll have to move down the chart and then try to work their way back up. But I think this is a really good way of enforcing rules while also not being too harsh on them. So they'll learn as the weeks go on that when you break rules, you do have consequences. And then if you do it too many times throughout the day, there will be a more severe consequence for ending on the bottom of the chart. And another important thing about rules and procedures is that I have to know that if I see that a rule is being broken too often, it may be time to review the rule. It might not be the student's fault. It may be me for not enforcing the rule or explaining the rule well enough. So I'll have to know when it's time to go over the classroom rules again and reinforce those with the students.